We're about to start. We're about to start. Just give us a good 1 minute or two. We're about to post on Twitter that we're live, and then we'll get to the talk about the show. Look, let's get the show started. It's already late. It's past midnight. It's about to be 2 o'clock in the morning. Let's start the show. Let's have a fucking good time. Because it's Weebs of the Ring, episode 17. So let's get started. Let's show our lovely faces. And let's have a damn good time to discuss WrestleMania 40. How we doing, Drop? We're here for WrestleMania 40. We're here to discuss the underwhelming, or overwhelming night one of WrestleMania 40. Right now, give me your rating. 0 out of 10. What was it overall for you?
So you see, here's the thing. When it comes to this show, because I'm gonna pull up the card that I sent you earlier, like the match order, so I can go through it. Here it
Yes.
is. So I would have to say between 1, 2, 3, probably like 4 matches I really messed with, and then a couple other matches I didn't really care for. So I guess if I had to give it a honest rating, I'll say like a 7.
All right, a 7. I will honestly give it a 7 or 7 to 8 out of 10. Right now, I don't have the concrete number, but I'll give it a 7 to 8
Yeah.
out of 10 with you as well. So, hey, to me, for WrestleMania 40 so far for night 1, I'll say that's good. Out of 20, so far starting at 7, depending what you add night 2, not bad so far.
Yeah, because I definitely feel like Night 2 is going to be a better show. Nothing against this show at all, but I just feel like there's more things I'm looking forward to. Could be from my perspective of like certain people that I'm huge fans of that I want to see, like LA and EO tomorrow with Bailey and Cody and Roman's match, and a couple other things as well. But yeah, this, like I said, this WrestleMania isn't bad, so I don't want people saying just because they gave it a 7 or 7.5, whatever, that I hate it overall. Definitely not.
Yeah, that's a
I mean,
damn
if I
lie.
had to, if I had to compare it to like last year's WrestleMania Night 1, I would have to say last year's Night 1 was definitely a lot better than this one.
That I could remember, I totally agree. So for everyone that is unaware of what tonight night 1 was, if you haven't seen it, we had the main event, the final boss match with the tribal chief versus we got Cody Rhodes with Seth freaking Rollins, and we got the women's world champion match. We got the tag team undisputed match that got split by 2 teams. Now we got the Rey Mysterio Andrade match versus Santos and Dominik, and Jimmy versus Jade, and the Intercontinental Championship match tonight. So we had a pack of 7 matches tonight, but the most hypest one that definitely needs to be spoken about first is the main event match itself. How did you feel about this 40-minute and 37 seconds you said, right, drop?
I think it was 44 minutes and 35 seconds.
Oh, okay. I was on about 4 minutes. So, 44-minute and 35-second match. How did you feel at this main event? Did you feel they executed? Did you feel that this tag team match was actually worth it from these past 3 months that we've been doing the show? How did you feel after finally ended?
I'm honestly really satisfied with it. It went down the direction that I expected because I'm pretty sure a lot of us jumping into this knew that Cody and Seth had to lose this match because there's no way in hell they were going to keep talking about the Bloodline Rules match over and over and over again and not capitalize on it. Because one thing I know about WWE ever since I started watching it, and my shirt even, gives a message as well with the Austin 316. If you were back then where they used to do a whole bunch of chaotic shit, there's no way in hell they weren't going to end off WrestleMania Night 2 without doing a lot of chaotic shit. And that's why Bloodline Rules was in effect. And I really loved the match. I kind of like how Rock had a little I'm not sure if this was an homage or not, but Rock has this whole gimmick right now where he's like the final boss.
Yep.
And like one of the things I did notice about his entrance that he came out, he came out there was a whole bunch of fire surrounding him, and it kind of reminded me of Sephiroth. If there's people that played Final Fantasy VII, where Sephiroth is the main antagonist of that game, and there's like a certain scene within that game as you're playing the story where you see like him surrounded by a whole bunch of fire. So I don't know if that was like an homage to Sephiroth. I think it was, because you have the whole final boss thing, and then you had Rock posting that little video on IG with a little video game thing. So I'm wondering if that is an actual homage to Sephiroth, which if it was, it makes sense because he's one of the most iconic video game bosses ever. But yeah,
And,
these
and
guys definitely delivered. I was honestly surprised with Rock, honestly, because a lot of people were making memes and jokes saying that Rock was gonna get gassed. He wasn't gonna be able to, keep up with like Cody and Seth and Roman. Like he was just gonna have Roman do all the work, or whatever people were saying online.
yeah,
But
I saw a tweet that somebody said that this match is moving to Rock's pace. And I'm like, definitely, I will agree to that to a 2080. That 20% that could possibly be true, but The Rock was doing his movements throughout this match. He was pacing it well with the other guys as well. So I was very impressed with The Rock momentum throughout the match and the consistency. The sells were a bit over the top, but it's The Rock. He is that type of character when it comes to selling as well. But overall, I enjoy him being back in a way that he gave us a 44-minute, 35-second match that I really enjoyed. I was jumping out my couch. I was screaming. My wife was like, just the whole time, like, this dude is, okay, calm down, tranquilo. And I'm like, nah, this match has me going. And she's like, but babe, I thought you know the winners. Like, yeah, but things right now could go 50-50. Like, right now, I feel
yeah,
like things could change up. Like, it could probably go Cody's side. And then, because right now, Rock is making a bloodline. He said he's the boss. He said, yo, you count, you fired. And I'm like, boy, okay. He told the ref, I'll follow you on the spot right now.
I mean, I think pretty much right off the bat, right there, he was pretty much showing you again what Bloodline Rules is going to be like tomorrow, because Rock was pretty much. I even tweeted about it. Rock was pretty much using his role as the board to pretty much take control of the match. Where if the ref was gonna go up to Cody, it's like, oh no, don't pay attention to him. And like Vash said, oh, if you count us out, you're fired. Stuff like that. And I kind of like how he did that. And I noticed a lot of other people had the same opinion on that as well. That they like how Rock used his role as the board to like take advantage of the math, because at least it's not like completely random and doesn't make any sense. Like it actually makes sense, because we know that that's a position he's in, and he does have the right, because where he is at the spot, of course he could tell the refs, what to do and what not to do. So that makes sense. And I kind of wanted something like that. I didn't really
Same.
want a normal tag match where it's like, okay, we can't use the chairs or tables, or we can't go out to the crowd and do this and that. Like, it's WrestleMania. You got to get wild. You got to do a whole bunch of crazy shit. I mean, that's how you get the crowd to pop. That's how you get a lot of people, jumping off their seats and stuff like that. And it was like definitely needed, because you need to get a little crazy when you like have these like main events close out the show. You can't just have like, okay, this is a regular tag match, we're gonna do this, whoever wins, that's it, and we're gonna move on to the next
It
night. Like, you
felt
had to amp it up to this level.
it felt chaotic as the way it should, because the
Hmm.
way they, like, one thing I want to add before we continue, the entrances was amazing. The outfits were awesome. When it came to what you said about The Rock with his flame out with the whole Toro and everything, the bull, it looked really awesome to see. Playing homage to himself and everything. By the way, his belt of the People's Champ, of course, he's coming out with that. I saw that happening once he got it last night at the Hall of Fame. It was bound to happen. But when it came to the American Nightmare outfit, adding the Seth Rollins logo as well on the back with his American Nightmare was a nice touch as well. The suit itself was amazing. The belt saying the American Nightmare with the Freakin on it was fire. Seth Rollins' whole attire was so flamboyant in the best way possible. I'm not sure if he ever did a Doflamingo's outfit. If he hasn't yet, this man should. I feel like he will make the best type of cosplay of Doflamingo and rock it so well in the entrance. And if he adds like a One Piece beat in the background with that, that would be amazing. But Roman, I felt like he was gonna make a cooler entrance, but I feel like that'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, I had the same thought process. I think even with Cody too. I feel like Cody and him are definitely gonna have special entrances,
I
because
agree.
you got.
There's no pyro for Cody, right? Or there was?
There was, but I feel like they're probably going to take advantage of it more tomorrow because it makes sense because it's going to be the closing match of night 2. This is going to be Cody's moment where I'm pretty much we can all agree that he's going to finish the story. And if this is going to be Roman's, final match as champion, stuff like that, if you want to end it off with a lot of hype and stuff like that, you need to give Cody a special entrance. You need to give Roman a special entrance. And then you just go off from there. Because I definitely feel like they're saving the best for that. Like even with Seth tomorrow, it could be he could have a special entrance too. Because he has that match with Drew tomorrow, and like WrestleMania is like always about having like these special entrances and stuff like that. So I definitely do expect that from him and Cody and Roman tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, so like when it comes to entrances, it was really nice to see. It was nice to see the moms of the Cody seeing her son beat up, but also The Rock getting beat up from his mom as well, from both different perspective. And The Rock saying like, "And this is for you, Mama Rhodes." Like just continue adding that flair of the heel factor all involved into it. Just adds more to it as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I would say that I was laughing by the end of the night when the Spanish announce table kept being the one getting destroyed. And I was like, come on, we gotta destroy the regular announce table as well. Come on, we gotta destroy both. Don't just do on the Spanish announce table. That's happened already 3 times tonight. Give them a break. Let's knock it out. Cody's pin not pinning out those couple times being pinned by The Rock and Roman, it was such an enjoyment to actually see him not be counted at 1, 2, 3, but continue pulling out from 1 and 2. I love that. Like it gave that suspense. It gave that you guessing like, is he gonna actually pin out now? Is he gonna do it? Like when is this match gonna end? Like it felt that like those 44 minutes, it didn't feel that long, and that's the best part of it. It was such an enjoyment time throughout the whole match.
And I gotta say, like going into this match, like I said, I expected and Rock to win, but they actually did convince me a couple times where I actually thought Cody and Seth were gonna come on top with this. Just the way that the match was structured and how we got a couple near falls here and there. It just made me think in my head like, holy shit, are they actually gonna have Cody and Seth win this? Even though like back of my mind, I was like, yeah, Rock and Roman are gonna win this. There's just some times
Right?
where I really thought Cody and Seth were gonna come on top with this, especially with the near falls. That's what it was that really did it for me was the near falls we kept on getting. Where I was like, holy shit, this is like actually happening.
Like it was so good that I believe it too. Like we all go watch our prediction video because we all knew that it was gonna be Rock and Roman because they're gonna add more to this Bloodline story for tomorrow night too. And I thought it was gonna be the Rock. I mean, Roman sparing the Rock was my guess for night 2. That was my guess that was gonna happen by night 2. A mistake,
Yeah.
but it happening tonight. The Rock selling like he was in the most pain out of this world. Like this man was crying. It was such a hysterical moment. And Roman's like, oh my God, I hit my cousin. I hit my final boss. It was such an enjoyment to see. I didn't expect that. Seth putting The Rock in that position was just peak perfection of cinema in that moment. And I love it.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely gonna factor in with tomorrow's match. And I still feel like that's probably I don't know if that's really gonna close out tomorrow's match. But
Was Spear or the betrayal of
no,
Roman and Rock?
the betrayal of Roman and Rock, like I can't really see like that being the nail in the coffin. Because I feel like we're all predicting we're gonna see like Stone Cold tomorrow and John Cena. I feel like when it's like an even playing field there, I don't know. Like they could still do it, but I don't know if that's really gonna be Roman's like, okay, go ahead and pin him, Cody, sort of thing. But like that's definitely gonna factor in because, The Rock's probably not gonna forget that. Like obviously, us as the watchers knew it was an accident that Roman was actually aiming for Cody to do the spear, but he accidentally got Rock.
Yeah.
And you never even saw like Roman apologize to Rock at all about it or anything. It kind of like he just moved on from it, forget that it even happened. But that's definitely going to play a factor into it. Either Roman gets a rock bottom tomorrow, or he gets a people's elbow, or whatever it is. Like I'm honestly hoping, just in general, whenever they start their feud, I'm honestly hoping they just like be themselves. Like they don't really need to do a face and heel kind of thing, but even if they do, I would honestly rather have Rock continue with this heel character because he was heel in the past, but he didn't really do it for that long. So I'm kind of hoping we get that stretch of like Rock being a heel even longer, and we can build to it as like months go on and stuff like that. Because definitely for sure they're gonna have the main event for WrestleMania. But besides like getting off topic with like what's going on between like Rock and Roman, which obviously we know it's gonna factor in tomorrow, of course, which is why we brought it up. I'm honestly like really really surprised with how long this match went.
Same. I honestly thought this match was going to be 20, 30 minutes. Even my wife was saying, like, they're dragging it out. They're dragging it out. But she was saying that after the 35-minute mark. So for it to go still 35 minutes, I was, like, impressed of how well it was being paced. But for it to be that long, I didn't expect that. And that was something that I was very impressed. And how well the match was going, even with the Roman and Cody was at the top of the ramp of the stage, and then Rock and Seth was going around the audience. That was well balanced, and I'm happy by the middle of the segment of that. The camera team finally put it side by side, showing like each fight going on at the same time. I wish it happened sooner in the production side. They probably didn't expect that to happen. But I love the throwing the trash can, using equipment around them, using the water. I don't know if that's a reference to I'm going to be a dick at you, Seth, because I don't like your clown ass. Or if that's a reference to the game of Triple H doing the water trick, or both.
It could have been either way, but I think it was just Rock being a dick, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because you got to keep in mind he is a heel right now. He's the bad guy, and obviously they're gonna do stuff like that to get into the opponent's face.
Yeah. So overall, that was both sides entertaining. Cody doing the Cody cutters, doing on the Rock when the Rock was about I believe was a DDT or a powerbomb on him, but just getting the Cody cutter such great timing, and the Rock just selling that beautifully. I was such enjoying that moment so much.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But other than this match, it had great moments, great spots. The only thing I want to add how the final boss felt like he was giving the orders more tonight than Roman, because Roman was in the middle of the ring a few times, and The Rock was just watching what's going on when he pulled the ref out, when he pulled the ref back in to do the countdown, when Roman was going against Cody and Seth was just being thrown around outside the ring, and The Rock was still telling the orders of what's said to be happening. So overall, that was pretty interesting how The Rock was taking the dominant side most of the match and most of the leadership side.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I said earlier, I like how he's actually using authority to handle the situation. Like you said, pulling the ref out, telling the ref to stop counting and stuff like that. Because He's in character. It makes sense. It's not like he's pulling things out of his ass. It makes sense. And it's definitely we're probably gonna see some similarities to that tomorrow too. Or later today, I should say.
Definitely much later for today. But other than that, I am good with the match. I was satisfied. I had the moments. I was hyped. I enjoyed every spot that was happening. The Rock and Cody was going on, and the Rock kept just throwing, I believe, Seth against the staircase. But I feel like Seth actually hurt his knee, unless he's selling that shit so well. But I felt bad that he kept getting hit by his back and knee from the Rock. Like, they were just going against that. Of course, that was the aim, knowing of how much it's been exposed throughout the past couple months, and plus being spoken about of how much he was in target for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, one of the other things I do want to add on before we move on and talk about something else is one of my predictions did come true that we did for our prediction videos the other day, that The Rock ended up pinning Cody, which I think you said on yours that Seth would probably be the one to eat the pin, which made sense if they wanted to protect Cody in some way for tomorrow. Because either way, if Seth took the pin, it was still a loss for their team, which would still tell us that, oh yeah, Cody probably has a good chance of winning tomorrow. But I feel like with Rock pinning Cody, it does more damage, because maybe that sets some sort of doubt in Cody's head. And I feel like that's just the kind of thing that like WWE wants. It's like that hard struggle for the good guy to eventually overcome all the obstacles and get on top of the mountain. And I definitely feel like what they did with Cody getting pinned tonight makes sense. It's not going to do anything to Cody, just because Rock pinned him doesn't mean that he looks weak or anything like that. They're just doing it mainly to make him look even better tomorrow once he wins the big one.
Agree. And also, it was hilarious to see Roman's blood of his nose and him being shocked of what the hell just happened. He's like, this motherfucker just got me bleeding on my nose. Oh, I'm gonna fuck this dude up. I was like, nah. He was like, nah. And he felt the energy of being in the more type of serious mode. So I love that.
And I don't know if I was the only one that noticed this. It was just a funny moment in the match I noticed. But it was like something went on with Rock and Seth. I don't know if you noticed how like Rock like trip over Seth and he hit himself on the turnbuckle.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, I started cracking up. But
I was laughing because I think that also happened when they were fighting by the Prime, from the Prime card. There was like a mishap, but they made it played off so well, and I'm like, okay, it worked. Whatever they did, it made it seem possible. But overall, for the match of Rock with Roman versus Cody and Seth, I give it as my rating a 9 out of 10.
oh yeah, I think it was a perfect match, honestly. Like, I'd give it a 10. I'd give it a 10 out of 10, honestly.
You know what? I give it a 10 out of 10. I honestly don't have no complaints right now at this moment from still reminiscing from that match 3 hours ago. So still, I'll give it 10 out of 10. I agree.
Like, it definitely lived up to the name of like being the biggest tag match of all time. Because most of the time they just throw that title out there and it doesn't really live up to the hype. Because sometimes, people put these headlines to try to hype up something and it doesn't really live up to those expectations. But I feel like with this tag match, it definitely did.
Hell yeah. This match, I will agree, by the way they marketed it was a great tag match. Best of all time. They produced this very well and gave us great moments to experience for a lifetime. So I definitely agree with that match, with the marketing and everything. So other than that, let's talk about the rest of our damn night. The Intercontinental Championship match of Sami Zayn versus the previous champion, Gunther the Ring General. I fucking love it.
Oh yeah, and I definitely would say this is probably a match of the year contender right here, just because of the feel of the match. I actually did something last year where I made a whole little thread and I saved it on my bookmarks on Twitter, where I was putting like my favorite matches throughout the year. And I gotta say, I didn't really focus on it that much this year, but I definitely would say that Sami and Gunther's probably like one of my favorite matches throughout the year. Because, you know, see, you look at Sami, you look at Gunther, those are two guys that are great wrestlers, and they always know how to put on a show. They always know how to tell a story. And I just loved the whole setup. Like, I loved how, you know, Sami was talking to his wife, he's talking to his son. Then you have him talking to Gable. And then I didn't expect this, but then you saw him talking to Kevin Owens. So I feel like that right there really set things in stone, really set things in motion when Sami headed out there in that match, because you had the whole thing with Sami where he needed to overcome all these obstacles in order to get on top, you know, just like how Cody's going to have to go through tomorrow. And you had that whole self-doubt, and you even had Gable telling me before that, you know, one of the best things about you is when you're at your lowest and you eventually get to the top. And that's exactly what we saw with Sami tonight. And I was very vocal many times throughout the show where I was saying that the IC title is below Sami at this point, because, you know, we all want Sami to win the world championship one day, because he's definitely deserving of that, which I feel like that time will definitely come. But I'm completely okay with this, because, you know, it made sense because of how the match was orchestrated. It caught me off guard, I will be honest. Like, I'm not upset with the outcome at all, because these are two great competitors. Sami's great, Gunther's great, so whoever won the match, I would be happy with regardless. I think the main reason why I said Gunther is because I just feel like they were trying to just push Gunther a little more as like IC champion. Because it could have been the whole thing I had in my head where I thought this Money in the Bank's gonna be in Canada this year. I didn't know if they were gonna use Sami as like a possible contender in that Money in the Bank match and have him win the Money in the Bank there, because Sami kind of looks like a guy that would cash in a Money in the Bank.
I see that.
And I feel like he would get like a huge pop. People hear his music, he comes down when the champion's low. Maybe someone that's like fucking with him at that time, you know, really gets in his face, but they have the title, and then he eventually gets his revenge that way. Maybe that was me just looking ahead with my little fantasy booking ahead in my head, which I'm sure, you know, a lot of us had our own little fantasy booking, how we want things to go. But I'm not upset with Sami winning the match, because it was a fantastic match. It's probably another match I would probably have to give a perfect story to, because that was like an emotional roller coaster, from Sami's entrance, from Gunther coming out, seeing those two in the ring, seeing Gunther toy with Sami's wife. You know, everything was all over the place. You know, seeing Sami hype himself up, giving Gunther that first Helluva kick, giving him that second Helluva kick. I thought Gunther was going to do some crazy shit, because I've seen him do it before, where he was going to like kick out of that, which I can only imagine how nasty this guy's going to be as a world champion, because we know it's coming. We know it's deserved for him. And I do want to give my thank you to Gunther, because he had a 666-day reign as IC champion, and he is the greatest Intercontinental champion that we had. Because, of course, you know, we want to celebrate for Sami because he won the IC title. That was a big moment. You know, that's definitely a WrestleMania moment you're going to remember for a long time. But I do want to give Gunther his flowers, because he definitely deserves it. Because one of the things I do like that Triple H did ever since he was in control and he was able to pretty much have his own layout of how he wants things structured. One of the things I really did like about what Triple H did was make the IC title feel relevant again, because for the longest time the IC title felt stale, didn't really feel important. It almost felt like it was just a championship that was there. You know, that was the same thing with the United States Championship until, you know, they started getting more focus on it, and then we saw those little vignette video packages talking about the history of it. And then once you had Triple H, you know, have Gunther win that IC title. Gunther didn't really make that belt feel like a mid-card title.
It
That
feels
title
almost
itself,
as the same as Seth's title. It almost feels as the same or probably slightly more higher or more of importance.
yeah, because it really did feel like a world title just because of how Gunther elevated. Like Gunther took it where it was at its lowest to a higher level. And that's why I'm hoping with Sami, which I have faith in because Sami's great. I'm hoping he can continue that level that Gunther had with the belt because that's what we need with the IC title. Like everybody loves how important that title feels again. We need to continue that stride. Gunther laid the groundwork for it. He built it up. I'm pretty sure he's going to do the same thing once he gets the world title because I have a lot of faith in Gunther that he's going to be a dominant and great champion. And once he loses that title to whoever he drops it to, everybody's going to give his flowers for him. You know, he's a future Hall of Famer. I'll just put that out there. You know, probably like 10 or so years down the line, you know, he'll eventually be in the Hall of Fame. But, you know, this guy's doing amazing things.
Yeah.
And one of the things we should be excited about is now he's officially going to be entering the main event picture, which is what he deserves. It's very deserving. People were even saying that when he was the IC champion. People are like, this dude should be in the main event. But he made that IC title feel like a main event title. But yeah, as I said, got to give Gunther his flowers. We could celebrate all we want for Sami, which of course me and you will continue sharing our thoughts on that. But got to give Gunther his flowers. He did a phenomenal job with that IC title. And I love Gunther. I'm very happy for him. I did see a lot of people online giving their respect for him, which I'm very happy for that. So, you know, I thank everybody online that was out doing that. But yeah, that was one hell of a match. Like that, honestly, I would have to say was one of like the most emotional matches that we had this night. Like that definitely felt like a true underdog story where it's like Sami had to struggle his ass off in order to finally be. It's almost like, you know, you're a kid in school. This kid keeps picking on you, like the school bully. He always gets one up on you. But then one day you catch him off guard. You have that little prep time like you're Batman. And then you eventually, you know, catch the guy off guard and you get one up on him. And I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy with what we got out of that match. I loved it.
So, I cannot follow that up, guys, because Kid dropped his box, gave a little 5-minute praise of Gunther and his reign of 666 days and of how much he has done in this match and bring the high relevance of the IC title into what it is today. I cannot do that because I've only seen Gunther with his reign for the last 360 days. And for that, I will say for the last second half of his reign of the IC title, I've loved it. Can't wait for him to see when he comes back to it in the future as his round 2, round 3 title hold, or if he will stay in the world title when that day comes. But when it comes to this title, the match was amazing that he put with Sami. When I've seen him with the matches with Chad Gable, the matches with The Miz, the other match with previous last year with Ivar and many others has been spectacular. I will definitely plan to go back to see the match with Gunther versus Ricochet when it happened 660 days ago to see how that first started, because I really want to see how he first started as a champion to where he has become now. I had a feeling. Now, talking about the entrance real quick as well, because I feel like this was one of my favorite entrance of the night. The way the camera work, the production, following Sami as well to the ring, to the stage, to show the conversation of his wife with his kid, to show the conversation with Chad Gable, and the conversation with KO. That shows so much of how it's been his journey of the underdog, and to see where he is today, I really love that when it came to Sami seeing KO. I was glad. I got emotional. It felt very special. But I had a feeling Sami was going to win once they show this kind of center of the stage of Gunther in the video package showing the first person of the IC title to the great ones who has held it. Which is sad that the Miz did not show up, because I feel like the Miz also was a great title holder. So it sucks in the video package with Gunther, he didn't even speak on it. But for him to show that video package, I knew he was gonna lose. That was one kind of red herring for me. The second red herring is once they show KO showing that, hey, I'm here supporting you, I believe in you to win. And 3, when Gunther was being cocky and playing with Sami. Because the last time that Gunther was being cocky and playing with his opponent is when Chad Gable technically beat or had one over Gunther for the disqualification match of the timing. That's the last time that Gunther played with his opponent and was very cocky, when he gave Chad Gable that 5-minute time limit match. So that was proof. So I knew after that Sami Zayn was winning, and it felt all the emotions. And I love what Triple H said during the press conference. Because the press conference, he said that this is what wrestling is about. That it gets you the emotions. That is the pro wrestling side, but also the entertainment side. When it has you in the feelings, getting you out of that chair, getting you out of that couch and screaming like those people was in that cold of 40 degrees out there in that open stage, experiencing all this and seeing Sami fight for his life to get back up and take Gunther down. I was feeling that emotion. I was getting up there. I love it. I was wanting Sami to win, and seeing those Helluva Kick was amazing. Even that finisher was such a remarkable one. The one where he grabbed Gunther and did his blue diamond at the corner. Wait, is it called blue diamond?
I don't know on the top of my head. I don't want to make up something that sounds stupid.
Yeah, so
I don't really know.
With Sami's finisher there, it was beautiful, spot on in the corner. And seeing...
Oh, you're talking about the name of the finisher?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something else. It's Helluva Kick.
No, his other one. Don't he have two?
Oh, the Blue Thunder Bomb?
The Blue Thunderdome. It was amazing to see that at the corner. It was just out of the blue. I love it. But those 3 Helluva Kicks was amazing. I love it when Gunther was down, when the Rev was counting 1, 2, 3, and it actually went to 3. My heart stopped for a second because I thought Gunther was gonna no, arm up. But when the Rev counted it, Sami's face, the emotions, the whole stadium was ecstatic, and I'm happy that Sami got that moment. Many people didn't believe that he was gonna win. All 3 of us at our predictions video said, hey, it's Gunther. But I'm the one that said, realistically, it's gonna be Gunther. But what my heart wanted, and they got it. Sami Zayn won, and I love it. It was perfect for it.
Yeah, and you can't even be upset about it either, because both of them are great. And one of the other things I do want to bring up that I almost forgot about until I heard you talking and I had some time to think about any extra things I wanted to say about this is the thing that Gable mentioned to Sami before he headed out for his match, where he says, after all of this, remember, you owe me.
I think it's a match against him.
It has to be, because you got to think, Gable's probably going to say something on Monday where it's like, hey, you're the IC champion now. I prepped you to be in this position that you're at right now. This could have been me, but it ended up being you. Just stuff like that. I definitely feel like it's probably be like, well, you owe me a title match.
It's going to be interesting how they're going to build it up. And I'm curious to see how long it's going to go for, because
I wouldn't even mind if they made a little feud between the both of them either.
Same. Because this could go long term. Because The current options for WrestleMania 41 is in Minneapolis. That's one of the current options for WrestleMania 41. That's a rumor, not confirmed. So where is Chad Gable from? Minneapolis. If he could get the title from Sami by SummerSlam or Survivor Series time, he could have the title until WrestleMania and have his WrestleMania moment and defend it, and then he could lose it around that summer. That's my long-term story if they build up a feud between them two, and I feel like it could work very well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
But other than that, this was my second favorite match of the night, and it was the most story that entertained me. It was felt the right pacing, it felt the right timing and time length of the match itself. Because can't wait for us to talk about another few matches that wasn't as exciting or as short as it should have been. But overall, this match I would give it 5 out of 5. Solid, 10 out of 10. I was entertained. I was out of my chair, and I'm glad that my heart got what it wanted, and Sami Zayn won and became our IC title. Can't wait to see after the draft, by the way, because I know that was announced by Triple H yesterday or today, saying that the draft will be coming up soon.
Like a month or so, he said.
So I'm really curious to see where the titles will be, and will they be flipping the U.S. title on Monday and then the world title, or see where it goes flip-flop. So I'm really curious about that.
Yep. And we'll dive more into that like once we get closer to it.
Of course. What's your rating? Drop before we move on.
Oh, I said earlier I'd probably give it a perfect score.
Perfect score. Love that. So talking about perfect score, which one do you want to follow up next? Because we have our last 5 title matches.
I will say that we've been talking pretty positive about these first 2 matches. Maybe we should bite into a match that we feel very indifferent about. And me and you were both discussing it, and I'm just gonna put it out there and say, Jay and Jimmy, in my personal opinion, you know, I love Jay. He's fantastic. Jimmy, he's great too. More of a Jay guy, but you know, that's nothing against Jimmy. But I gotta say, this match was underwhelming. Like, I was honestly expecting a lot more out of this match, because you would think, you know, it's a brother versus brother match. They've done stuff like this at WrestleMania before. I mean, look at the fantastic match that Brett and Owen had many, many years ago that still gets talked about till this day. Like, whenever somebody brings up, oh, what's one of your favorite WrestleMania matches? People are like, oh, Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. That was such a great match. So it's like, you know, the way that they were building this match, and especially what Vash said to me personally, where he was talking about, like, how the video package pretty much set you up for the match. Like, the video package, I'll say that, it was perfect. But the thing that I was expecting more out of this
was better than the fight. The package, I will give this, was a 5 out of 5, and the fight was like a 2 out of 5. Like, what the fuck? How do you have the promo feeling you in your emotions, that you're feeling it in your gut, that you have a brother versus brother? You have them at the end saying that we couldn't tell the difference, that I am Jimmy, I am Jay, explaining their past, explaining how they used to be in the same football team, same prom, same birthday share, etc., etc. To have this underwhelming fucking ass fight, whoo.
Yeah, that's the thing though, because you know, when you look at matches like this, you get like high expectations for it, because you got to keep in mind, you know, these two came into the game around the same time. They got a lot of history with one another. Then they had that downfall, and the video package pretty much just built up the history between the both of them ever since the beginning and where they are now. Because one of the things that WWE does with these video packages is that it pretty much retells you the story, how it started,
yeah,
and how we got to this point. So after So it's almost like a movie trailer. So you watch a movie trailer so you could see where you're getting yourself into, and then you're like, after you're done watching it, oh hey, maybe I should go check out this movie, or doesn't really look that interesting. But with this video package, it got you really invested because of just how it was structured. But then when you look at the match, because even my friend Billy from work texted me, and I'll actually find the text on my phone, because me and him were talking about WrestleMania throughout the night.
A big shout out to Billy from work.
One of the things that he mentioned is like, was that a super kick battle match? I thought I would get more. And I texted him, I was like, yeah, I was expecting more out of that match, because it honestly just looked like, they were doing super kick, super kick, super kick, super kick, Uso splash, Uso splash. I mean, it didn't really flow well.
The way I saw this match, I wanted a Undertaker versus Kane brother fight. I do not remember the Bret versus Hart fight too much from the back of my head. The one I remember more right now is Undertaker versus Kane. That match was good. It wasn't great like the Bret Hart fight, but it was good enough to keep you entertained of the Undertaker versus Kane at the time. For Jay and Jimmy, I wanted something like that. I wanted a good drama with a good pro wrestling style with it. I didn't want a super kick fanatic type of fight going on, and Jimmy asking for forgiveness and then trying to betray him when Jay was prepared.
Yeah, it's like you would think, since like
what?
You recall everything that happened with like Jimmy costing Jay at SummerSlam when he was up against Roman, to him being the reason Jay and Cody lost the tag titles, and then when Jay had that match with Gunther, and he was the reason why he ended up losing that match. And I never recall Jay had a match on Smackdown once with Austin Theory, and I'm not sure if Jimmy came out at this match or not. I don't remember on the top of my head. It could be wrong. But pretty much the whole point I'm trying to get across is like, Jimmy's been messing with Jay many, many, many times. So you would think in your head, okay, these guys are really going to go at it. It's just going to be an emotional struggle between the both of them throughout this entire match. But it didn't. And that was like one of the matches I was really excited to get into. That's why I said, tomorrow, I got a couple other favorite matches, like Bayley and Io. I'm ecstatic about that match because I love Bayley so much. I want to see her win the big one. She's fantastic. So it's like with Jimmy and Jay, it's like, you want to see Jay get his revenge. You want to see Jay, pretty much set Jimmy straight, which he got his revenge, but I felt like they could have added more layers to it. Like, it didn't feel like there was that many layers to it. It's kind of like you're eating a sandwich, you take one bite out of it, you don't like how it tastes, and you throw it away. And I'm not blaming Jimmy and Jay for this. It's kind of whoever produced this match, I didn't really like how it was structured, because it's not on them, because they're just doing what they're told. But whoever produced the match, I felt like it could have gotten done a lot better, especially with Jimmy and Jay, because these two are considered one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Like, the Usos definitely cemented themselves to be one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And you would expect, if you had these two go head to head of one another, you would expect something more. But it just felt completely empty.
I agree, because I felt like this match could have given another 5-10 more minutes. It could have added more drama, more layers to what they were doing. And it felt very underwhelming. Once the match was done, I was like, wait, that's it? I wanted more. I was left where another food reference towards what Job said. I wanted a full course. I wanted my appetizer, my entree, my dessert. I felt like I only got an appetizer, but instead of being some Red Lobster type of good bread or Olive Garden bread, I felt like I just ate a salad and I was still hungry. That's what it felt like. With Jay and Jimmy, I was still hungry after my salad. And I was questioning where was my entree, and I never got it. Jay and Jimmy, beautiful entrance. A big shout out to Jay's entrance. Having Lil Wayne, that was fire. That was a good addition. That was entertaining. Jimmy's entrance, I was a bit disappointed. It didn't feel like it was up there with the love and passion of having an entrance like this is your WrestleMania. I felt like it was very like a jobber entrance at a WrestleMania. It was just, hey, here's your music, here's you coming down the ring, let's get to it. But with Jay, it just added more flair, it just added more to the moment, and I love that very much. I agree more when Watkins and a big shout out to Rome getting back into wrestling. He spoke in the DM, the excitement of the whole team. It was fun discussing about it. But I was interested to see if Jimmy won, what else would have this added to the story of Jay and Jimmy. But Jay winning is like he already is over with the crowd. He's main event Jay Uso. So I was hoping for more of this. Really lackluster match. Really disappointed. If I have to give a score out of 5, is honestly I'll give a 2.5 a 2.5 out of 5, and out of 10 I'll give like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't even know what to rate it personally. I just felt like really like I felt like really like lost with this match, honestly. It's kind of hard to really give it a rating because I just don't know what to say. Because it's like there was other stuff you could have done. You didn't do it. Why?
Yeah. It was very underwhelming, and that's not the best way to feel about it. Of how we were kind of like. The last thing I will say, this match, you know how people go into the summer movies and say, what's your most anticipated? Like, what's your top 3 anticipated of the summer blockbuster, right? For us, in the WrestleMania, out of the 14 or 13 matches we're having, what are our most anticipated? For night 1, my top 2 or top 3 out of the 7 matches was the tag team main event, the most anticipated, the Sammy one, and Jay and Jimmy. Jay and Jimmy was my most anticipated, and that was the most lackluster for me. It was the most underwhelming, and I wanted more. So it
Yeah, I
hurts.
was.
So it hurts when an anticipated match was one I was so hyped for to be so let down.
Yeah, and I was completely caught off guard too, because even like when I was watching it, my family were like, "That's it." It
Yeah.
just left a bad taste on my mouth afterwards. Like I said, it's nothing on Jimmy and Jay. They're just doing what they're told. Because obviously we know at the end of the day, everything's scripted, which is nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, we watch this because we're entertained and we love these people in the business. But it's like whoever produced this match, I felt like they could have done a lot better.
Yes. Like we say, we don't want you to get fired, like a few people that have been, just because we ask you to be better at your job. But for this match, the producing needed fucking work. So if there is a round 2 of Jay versus Jimmy, please, for the love of God, be 10 times better than this match. Because I would love to see a round 2 or a retirement match 5 years from now or something like that in this type of stipulation. Maybe this match needed a stipulation to feel more relevant or importance. What did you think, Drop? Did this match need a stipulation to feel more relevant for what it was?
I mean, a stipulation would have definitely helped, but you shouldn't feel afraid to like add a stipulation to a match. Like, yes, I get it, singles match, whatever. But if certain feud calls for a stipulation, like even with like LA and AJ, that should have gotten a stipulation, but it didn't. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good match anyway. And I only say that because of how it's like there's a certain word like a blood feud, or not a blood feud, like LA and AJ just have like, oh, they hate each other, they just want to kill each other kind of mood. That's kind of how I expected with like Jimmy and Jay. They just have all this hatred bundle up with each other. They could have easily added like some sort of stipulation to it. They could have gotten wild, and then they could have pulled some shit like Rock did, where just went all over the place, did what they want. Obviously not at the same level as Rock, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like,
of course.
At least do a lot more.
Well, we could do a lot more. What couldn't have been done, because we had a women's championship match tonight, and it was the World Heavyweight Championship match of Rhea Ripley defending her championship against Becky Lynch, the man with 102 fever and having no voice.
Oh yeah, she had strep throat too, I heard.
Yes,
I didn't even know about that until people mentioned it. I was
yeah.
completely unaware.
I was it was being announced by Michael Cole, giving the audience the awareness of what was going on. So a big shout out for Becky Lynch for going on with this fight, still pushing through, still giving the good performance that she did, because it felt like a squash match, like we all were hoping for this type of match for Ripley to show the dominance, but it was short, but understandable for health reasons, for to play it safe for the superstar and all that. So, Drop, how did you feel about this, knowing about the news, knowing overall about the match without going into details yet? How did you feel with knowing about Becky in this condition and overall the match? Because I did see a clip after this match. Charlotte Flair was very excited for Rhea. She loved this and was very supportive about this as well. So I'm very happy to see. I don't know if it was kayfabe or not. Either way, if it was just glad to see two superstars enjoying the happiness at a reign of a win overall.
Well, I wasn't really aware of what happened to Becky until like an hour into the show after that was over. So I don't really have too much thoughts on it, but you know, she went out there and she put on a show. So I'm really happy for what she gave us because Becky's great. But I didn't really look at it as a squash match, to be honest, because these ladies did go for 17 minutes and 5 minutes. But the way I pretty much looked at this match is it was pretty much like another body to feed Rhea because, you know, as you probably noticed already, they're trying to build up Rhea as a big deal because, you know, Rhea is one of their main eventers right now. They want her to be a big star. She already is a big star. But you get what I mean. You know, she's going up against these top names like Charlotte Flair last year. Now she has Becky Lynch. You know, her and Becky's has been a match that they've been wanting to do for a long time. They eventually got to it this WrestleMania. And, you know, this put Rhea on an even higher pedestal because now she has a couple of names to add to her list now. So, okay, I defeated Charlotte Flair. I defeated Asuka. I defeated Sasha Banks. You know, I defeated Becky Lynch. You know, those are some big names to put under your belt that you've managed to defeat. And I'm really happy for her. I'm really happy she was able to retain the title because I didn't really see Rhea losing this title jumping into this.
Yeah, we both.
I just felt like this was just an obstacle that Rhea needed to climb just so she can cement herself and build herself up to an even higher level than what she was currently on. And defeating Becky Lynch, you know, does wonders for you because Becky is an established name. A loss isn't going to do anything to her character. People are still going to care about her. She's still going to have that same credibility as ever. Even with Rhea, when she gets to that point, which, you know, she ever gets a loss, if she is putting someone over eventually, like, let's say, for example, you know, Rhea's like really into the game. You got some newcomer coming. She eventually comes across Rhea. You know, Rhea's eventually going to have to do the same thing, you know, help build new talent, stuff like that. That's pretty much what Becky's doing. Like, Becky's like in it for the game. You know, she loves being there. She loves doing this or that. You know, she went down in NXT last year to help a lot of the girls over there. When she had the NXT title, she gave girls that didn't really have opportunities, chances, and she had matches with them to showcase their strengths. And, you know, she helped put Lyra over. Fortunately, her reign ended, but, you know, that's a topic for another day. Not really upset about that because Roxanne deserves it. But, you know, Becky does things for the business because, you know, she's a team player. And what she was doing in this match, for at least from my point of view, is she, you know, she was being a team player. She helped put Rhea over, which was the best decision they could have done with this match because, you know, Rhea is just being built as like this dominant figure, and she's pretty much at this point where she doesn't need Judgment Day anymore, which it's clear as day. Probably not going to be a thing anymore after what we saw tonight because she's pretty much
I,
the only one that's on top, which, as she says, mommy's always on top. She's pretty much the only one with the championship, keeping on going, doing her thing. Everything's at the same level. Whatever she says, it gets done.
she gave a
And I'm
good
happy.
response, because that was a question at the press conference when it came to Rhea. They asked her, "How do you feel about you coming out on top, winning for defending your title reign as the women's championship? But how did you feel about Finn Balor losing the undisputed tag titles and Dirty Dom losing?" Her response was very genuine. She like, Judgment Day, we wanted, and our goal was to be on top, to be winning, to show the Judgment Day dominance. But it sucks that my Dirty Dom lost. Deep down, I'm very saddened, but she spoke very highly remark about Dirty Dom and the great match he put out. And for the Finn Balor and everything, she was very neutral of that. So I'm glad that she didn't give full information, and I'm glad we're gonna see on Monday the turn of events of how the Judgment Day disassemble will be, or the downfall. If they will choose to break off before they get, one of them betraying the other, or one of them leaving, or it will be the downfall for it. So that would be pretty interesting. Before I continue on about Rhea's match with Becky Lynch overall, I want to give a shout out for Rhea's entrance was phenomenal. She had the demon in your dreams, the artist of Motionless in White being there was amazing. That was a beautiful entrance. I didn't expect that. Rhea was ecstatic. Her body language. She has said that this iteration of Rhea Ripley is the most genuine of who she is, and she's become more confident in this persona of this character trait that's going on with Rhea Ripley right now on screen. So I was very happy to see how glad she was to have her song being live on the air. It was so amazing.
Oh yeah, that was a great moment. Have one of her favorite bands coming out playing her song. I mean, I think that's a dream for anyone, really. Imagine like having your favorite, artist come out and play one of your songs as you like walk out to the ring and begin your match. Like that's just a great feeling to have overall, and I'm just really happy to see like where she was before and like where she is now, because she's definitely grown so much, and I just wish her the best of things moving forward.
Same. Totally agree with that. And then jumping back into the fight with Becky Lynch and Rhea, those 17 minutes is something that I wanted to be as good with the fight between Rhea versus Charlotte from last year at WrestleMania 39, because that fight was phenomenal. That was a 5 out of 5 match between Rhea versus Charlotte. I was expecting or wanting something similar with Rhea and the Man, like Mommy versus the Man, to have a match to that caliber is what I was hoping for. But again, like we were told, the information we found out, Becky wasn't in the best health, ready to compete in this match, but she was pushing, she did it, and she got the job done. For the 17 minutes, like Drop said in the beginning of this conversation, I said it was a squash match. It wasn't what it was towards what I said. It was more that it felt like it because of Becky's health during this match. But overall, it was entertaining. With Becky, they gave it their all. It was entertaining to 17 minutes. But again, for what I was saying, I wanted a caliber match between Rhea and the Man, like it was Rhea versus Charlotte from last year.
Oh yeah, I mean, I get what you mean. Still a great opening match though.
Oh, it was a phenomenal match overall. Can't wait to see who's the next one line up, because like we got a big announcement at NXT Stand Deliver with a new mid-card title for the women's. I'm hoping that we get one for the main roster, because for my next person to be is Shayna to come up for Rhea's title, but this time as a one-on-one instead of being part of what was last year little mix-up of the Fatal Five. It was. So I'm hoping we get a one-on-one with Shayna in the next feud coming up after this Monday Night Raw, because I'm sure somebody's gonna interrupt her, and we're gonna start with that feud for the next couple weeks.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, once we hit Monday, it's gonna be a new season, kind of
Who's
like a
your
new season of
guess
show.
to be the one
Um,
interrupting her? Who's your pick, your number one contender to be going for Rhea this Monday to be interrupting her for the next couple weeks?
um,
I know I put you in the spot right now, but who's your top one?
I mean, it could be Shayna because I think in like one of those little those little digital exclusive videos they did online, or I think when someone was talking with her in the Hall of Fame last night, whatever, I do recall her mentioning Rhea, so it could very well be Rhea, or it could possibly be like a call up. Maybe someone wants to mess with her. Maybe there's a NXT call up who just gets on the main roster and already wants to start a fight with the woman upstairs who's running the joint. You never know, honestly. Like I said, with this Raw after Mania, I am very confident it's going to change the game. It's gonna have a new feeling
It is
that we haven't had in a long time.
a big shout out, since we're on it right now, a big shout out to the game, Triple H Lezvec. He put on a great first night. They had him come out in the beginning of the show just to say it's WrestleMania time for many reasons, that is to replace a certain sound for him to be the one saying it's WrestleMania time. So I love it for what they did. A big shout out for the game, Triple H, to have his first WrestleMania full control, because for night one, executed. All matches cannot be the best, but so far night one has hit. Now we have two last ones to be spoken about. Wait, two, right? No, we have
Actually,
three, right?
let me see. I'm going to pull it up again because I just lost it. Oh, here it is. So we have to talk about the women's tag match. Rhea and Andrade versus Dom and Santos, and then the tag title match. I do want to end the show off with the tag title match, only because I want to end it off on a positive note.
All right.
Because I do want to talk about. Let's talk about the women's tag match. Then we can dive into the Dom and Santos match with Rhea and Andrade. But so we had the 6-man women's tag match, which was Bianca, Naomi, and Jade versus Damage Control. I will say this, I love Damage Control's entrance where he had all the people come out, and I think that was probably homage to the Kabuki Warriors, I would assume, right?
Yep, correct.
So you had like homage to the Kabuki Warriors, and you had Damage Control come out together, and I love Bianca, Naomi, and Jade's. That was like definitely a reference to the X-Men for sure, just because of their dress up.
I'm still trying to figure out who was Naomi supposed to represent. My guess it was for the Phoenix Force. That's my guess for the outfit, but I couldn't tell because the hat was so extra that I felt like it was Raiden. Because for those that don't know, Bianca is supposed to be Cyclops, and Jade Cargill is obviously Storm. But Naomi is the one is a tough one of who I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably have to look into it like some other time, definitely. But I thought like mainly what I took from this match, it was like a good showcase match for Jade. Because I knew jumping into this match that Jade, Naomi, and Bianca were going to come on top. Because this is Jade's first WrestleMania. And WWE really wants to push Jade as the next big thing. Which I definitely feel like she's going to have a big future ahead of her. She's eventually going to be a world champion. Stuff like that will come when the time is right, of course. But I feel like they're probably taking their time with Jade. They want to, still test the waters with her, see what she can do and stuff like that. And I'm honestly looking forward to see, what Jade brings to the table moving forward post WrestleMania. But I felt like in this match, she had a good showcase. She was able to, show what she's capable of. You even have the audience chanting, "We want Jade, we want Jade, we want Jade." So I like how she's also working with Bianca, who's already in the top. You got Naomi as the veteran, so it's good that she's working with two girls that are already comfortable in the business and they already know what they're doing and stuff like that. So it's good that she's surrounding herself with Bianca and Naomi because they can definitely help her get to even higher levels.
The
And
I do want to add that the press conference really showed how much all these three really work well together. Because
yeah,
for anybody that did not see the press conference, these three girls did not give a fuck they were at the press conference because they were just hanging out, like they were just a fun of these audience, and I was just watching them just hang out and have a conversation. Because Naomi explaining her journey, she got a side tangent. She apologized about it. The girls were having a great time. They were getting distracted about the glasses, asking, like, hey, can you make me one too? They were just having such a friendly conversation and just a friendly vibe. And it showed how much Jade also expressed that she wouldn't be here without the help of these ladies, the guidance of these ladies. Naomi being the veteran that she is in this journey, in this game, and Bianca to be the one who's the EST, who has been in WrestleMania now 5 years in a row with the streak. Which I'm curious to see if she would actually speak on this, if this counts to her streak, or if this skips, or if this
it
skips
does.
this year to her
No,
streak.
it does. It does.
No, but I'm saying
Because,
that I hope that she speaks on it this Friday.
oh,
Like, I
okay.
hope that she speaks like I add another win to my streak. Like, I hope that girl makes a shirt or something that actually brings it about the news or about the marketing of it, because she never, like, yeah, she is in another fight for her for her tag team, but would be nice for some confirmation to the audience and to us as well for it.
I do know that Jade referenced it during the press
Oh, I
conference.
did. I missed that.
So I think that pretty much confirms it right there that it's still intact. Because you got to keep in mind if there's like a streak on the line, even if it is a tag match, you take a loss net, it's going to be like a 3-1. But now she has a 4-0, so she can continue moving forward with this. And like one of the things that I also noticed as well is this could be another long-term booking thing when it comes to Jade and Bianca, because we all know that those two are eventually going to go at it. We don't know who's going to be the face. We don't know who's going to be heel. That doesn't really matter right now. But it's definitely, I do like the direction they're going, where they're going to have Bianca, Naomi, and Jade with each other for quite some time. Because I don't think this is just a one-on thing just to fight damage control. Like, I definitely feel like they're going to be around each other a lot. And you could definitely like build up some long-term booking with Jade and Bianca once they get into that eventual feud with each other.
Drop. I love that you said that. I love you for that, because I hate it how when people are saying that they already want to book Bianca versus Jade next year at WrestleMania 41. I'm like, no, it doesn't need to be next year. It could be WrestleMania 42, 43. Let the long-term story booking continue for these characters. Let Jade and Bianca be friends. Don't have to betray her so fast yet. Look what happened with Damage Control. That took 2 years. Look what's going on with Roman. It's been going on for 4 years since the pandemic. We're about to end his reign. Please be ending his reign this Sunday, less than 24 hours from now. So for all that to happen, Jade Cargill and Bianca, hopefully it does not get speed up within with short term storytelling. Like you said, Drop. Hopefully we go with the long term and have these three build up. Don't betray it. Let them help each other. Put the cracks in for the next year. Let it build up. Let the friendship of these three on screen build up for the audience. Let us feel them for what's to become when the betrayal happens a year from now or some change. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't need them to go one-on-one already at the next WrestleMania. Let them have the story going on.
Yeah, exactly. And Could they do it next year WrestleMania? Sure. Could they do it the next WrestleMania after that? Sure. I am in the ballpark that it's definitely going to be a WrestleMania match. I can't say it's going to be at another pay-per-view or whatever, but if it's going to be long-term booking and they're going to eventually do a Bianca versus Jade match, I'm pretty sure title's going to be involved. Bianca is going to be the champion in that feud. And if they are doing the long-term booking, as I mentioned several times, then Jade would have to not only take that title from Bianca, she would have to be the one to end that streak.
Who I think right now we get the mid-card title announced for NXT. What would be a perfect opportunity? The mid-card title for SmackDown and Raw, and Jade Cargill to be the first one to get it, because this will give her the elevation to get for the main title months from now. If Jade gets the current mid-card title, it builds her up with the current superstars on screen at the main roster, but also we know she's great at the mic work from her previous company, but let's get her in the mic work of what the formula, the format of WWE is.
Yeah, because I just want them to just take their time, because we're not in a rush for this. I mean, we had to wait 4 years to see Roman Reigns at the level that he is. So if they wanted to take some time to do whatever they have planned with Jade, then so be it. It doesn't have to be, 6 months from now you're doing this or that or whatever. Just take your time with it. But one thing's for sure, I'm just going to throw this in here for ha-has just to be silly. Have Tiffany Stratton win Money in the Bank. But that's another topic at another day. Just had Tiffany on my mind. Just wanted to say that. But yeah, overall, good showcase match. I love the dynamic with Bianca, Naomi, and Jade. A lot of people have said that they look great together, and I definitely do agree. And yeah, let's see what happens, next week at SmackDown, because it's not just Raw after SmackDown. It's also
SmackDown.
Raw after Mania. It's also SmackDown after Mania too. It's not just Raw getting the attention, because there's 2 shows. Same
NXT
thing with
as well?
NXT.
Yeah.
NXT after Stand and Deliver.
Can't wait.
Because I will say this. Obviously, we're not going to spend too much time on it. We
could give our NXT little small recap after this, since we're about to be done with a Mania, because I know us two could literally speed run that.
Well, we don't necessarily need to do this. I just want to throw this out here since we're talking about Raw after Mania and SmackDown after Mania and NXT after Stand and Deliver. I just want to give a shout out to Julia, just because we're on the topic of this, because this adds to the conversation that we're on right now, talking about what's going to be happening after SmackDown after Mania. I just want to say that I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do with the company. Obviously, I know she has a couple dates that she needs to get taken care of, but eventually, we're going to see her at NXT, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what she's doing. I don't want to get too in depth. I just want to say my thoughts on it, but really happy you're here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do.
We appreciate it, but we know who we were happy to see. Were we happy with this match? We're about to discuss the Rey, Mysterio, and Andrade with the full team of the LWO on the ringside versus Santos Escobar with his team of the faction of the
Legado del Fantasma.
Thank you. I forgot what the full word was. Legado del Fantasma with Dirty Dominik Mysterio. This match wasn't
as bad as Jimmy and Jay, I'll say that.
Yes, thank you for saying that, Drop, because it was something that I had a feeling it was going to be chaotic, but I did not expect NFL players to pop in, be helping out Rey, and I did not expect Rey to take the win. All 3 of us, if you haven't checked out the prediction video, go check it out, because we all thought that Dominik would be winning, or Santos, and one of them will be pinning Rey. That's what all 3 of us will be thinking would be the outcome, and it wasn't. So, Drop, what did you think about this outcome?
Like I said, this match wasn't as like underwhelming as Jay and Jimmy because we already discussed our thoughts on that. You want to hear that? Just go to the beginning of the video, but or stream wherever you're watching this on. But yeah, with this match, like, I don't know, like, it didn't really do anything for me, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, all I was honestly, like, what I originally wanted was just Rey versus Santos. That's what I originally wanted. Because you had that whole thing where
we did.
Santos turned on Rey, and we knew down the line Rey was going to come back and do something to Santos, and then they were going to set up their match at WrestleMania. But then we had that match on SmackDown, which it was still a good match, but I honestly wanted it at WrestleMania because you got to look at it like this. This is someone that looked up to Rey. He eventually let him down. Now they have that feud going on with one another. I felt like they could have saved it for WrestleMania. It would have made more sense because then I would have Santos go over in that match with Rey. But now you got Rey and Andrade versus Dom and Santos. And then you have Rey beating them. I mean, what is this really doing?
Exactly. What does this do for them? Like,
because my only thing that I don't like about this is like you're trying to build. I'm not really worried about Dom so much because Dom's Dom. But you're trying to build Santos as like this top heel when it comes to their division, like all the luchadors and stuff like that. You're trying to build Santos as like this top heel. And they did a fantastic job on the start with how they were building up Santos. And I thought they were going to carry that into, WrestleMania where we were going to have, even though we didn't get the one-on-one match, we were going to have Dom and Santos come on top because now you got Rey beating his son again for the second year. I thought Dom was going to get his revenge. I thought Santos was actually going to be on top and take out Rey and stuff like that.
Because the more this match was going on, Drop, I thought that this match was going to be a LWO versus Legado del Fantasma. If this was the outcome, if this was all of them involving and taking out the tag team partners and everything involved, this should have been it from the start because even Zelina Vega got involved with Elektra Lopez. So if this was the point of this match to have all these side characters involved with the main characters, it should have just been a 5 versus 5 mixed match of the Legado del Fantasma versus the LWO. That's what should have been from the start because you and me and Watkins, I believe, also wanted Rey versus Santos. We wanted the Master versus the Apprentice to fight and then the Apprentice to beat the Master. That's what was the goal, the point. We wanted Santos to overcome with the audience and him become the next Lucha Libre within the division. But then for Santos and Dom to lose, it's like, all right, Dom is still Dom, like you said. But then what does this help Santos? What does this help Legado del Fantasma right now? It doesn't bring any of them to shine, and that doesn't help them in that boat.
Yeah, that was my main like gripe with that. Like I just felt like there was like so much more you could have done with this. You could have just honestly the way they were doing it, I would have just taken the LWO versus Legado del Fantasma.
Exactly.
Just have a huge. Yeah, just have a huge ass tag match and just do it like that. That probably would have been a lot better than what we got tonight.
Because this is what kind of it was. We had two random NFL players get with a match to help out Rey Mysterio. And would it have discounted as a disqualification from the ref? Nah, the ref said, nah, I'm going to let it slide. It's a tag match for some reason. A lot of the rules are getting changed last minute. So it seems like the refs did not care one squat.
It's probably just one of those typical things at WrestleMania where it's like, oh shit, look who's here, and then they just let it go.
Yeah, the hype
but
moment.
It's like,
F it.
I don't know. It's just really hard to talk about this match because
we wanted more from it, and what we got, it was very underwhelming, and not because it was a underwhelming match like Jay versus Jimmy. It was a match that we was like, okay, so this is the outcome. I didn't really expected this or wanted this, but we got this, and I was happy with it. So overall, that's what it felt like for us, myself, and Drop to get this. When chat, tell us what you felt about each of these matches. Let us know down in the comment section down below on the YouTube side or on Twitch. If you're seeing it from there, hit us up on Twitter or join our Discord and everything else. But one thing I was very happy about this whole match was to see Andrade fight, to be fighting involved. I was expecting a Carlito's turn to be salty about this.
Yeah, I was too, to be honest.
It did not happen. Andre was really excited during this. I was really kind of let down that Andre didn't have his own entrance. He kind of entered with Rey Mysterio and the WO. I was kind of like wanting to see a pure pyro, pure Andre entrance, because I heard his entrances are always really fired from his previous company. So I'm really curious about this, and I was really disappointed. So
yeah, because yeah. Well, moving on, because I know me and you want to discuss this, and I said I wanted to end it off on a high note. I'm just gonna put it out there: the tag titles are finally split. Thank goodness, because this is something that I know well, obviously we're all happy about it, but I know Vash especially has been very vocal when we've been doing these past 17 episodes of Weebs of the Ring, where he's mentioned several times how much he's wanted the tag titles to be split, because, you know, there's other tag divisions out there. I understand realistically they should just have one set of tag titles and just go back and forth between both shows, which I understand because that makes sense. You know, build it up to that high prestige like Gunther did, but with the tag titles. But, you know, you have these two different tag teams on both shows, so it makes sense not to have like one team hog both titles. And I'm just glad they're split. And my predictions for this match was Awesome Truth and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, which I definitely feel like on Monday and on SmackDown we're probably going to get those new tag team designs, because I didn't mention that before, that it's been rumored for quite some time that we're going to be getting new tag title designs. They're already made, but they haven't really put them out there yet. So I would assume, since this is the Raw after Mania, this is the SmackDown after Mania this week, we're probably going to get those designs shown off to us, because if you haven't noticed already, you know, all the other titles are changed. Women's title is not we don't have the women's title like Raw women's title or SmackDown women's title, or, you know, the championships, you know, just looking at like red and blue colors anymore. Like, those tag titles are the only thing that was really still there from like the past era, because like Triple H came out here and said, you know, this is the new era and stuff like that. We're in the new era. Okay, got to change those designs too. You can't keep them like that, because they just look out of place. The red and blue titles, they just look out of place. Me personally, I'm not a fan of them. I kind of thought they looked ugly. I don't know if that's just a me thing, but I don't really like them.
Drop. I'm with you. So we are two thing right now. I agree. Those titles were ugly as hell. We get it. They're supposed to represent like the Warriors in the Coliseum, the tag titles and everything. But you could upgrade that. You know, get it to a black and white, or if you want to still have the red, cool, embody that. But take out the full red, take out the full blue, but don't slap a damn W logo again on that shit. Should give me tight. Most likely they will, because it's all about marketing. It's all about the W. Is what you mean about the World Wrestling Entertainment. Totally understand. Totally get it. DIY winning is what I was rooting for, but Awesome Truth will not be champions for long. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that Awesome Truth, I believe they'll be losing it from the next month to 3 months, either by the next pay-per-view or in the next couple weeks at Raw, because I will need Raw and SmackDown to also feel important, that a champion change could also happen on a show. I don't want it to always feel that it needs to happen on a pay-per-view. You need to get the audience feel like these shows are also important, that these changes can happen anytime. So for a Raw title switch would be nice within the next month at a pay-per-view or by Backlash or SummerSlam around that time where it feels for them to happen. For Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, I feel like the titles will be helping them more than them will be helping the titles of the SmackDown titles so far.
Yeah, and I honestly feel like the people who got the titles are just placeholder names for now. Because if it was honestly up to me, like if they came up to me like, "Hey, Drop, who do you want to win the Raw titles or the SmackDown titles?" I would have easily said, "Okay, for the Raw titles, give it to DIY.
Yes.
For the SmackDown titles, give it to the New Catch Republic."
Yes.
That's what I would personally say. But I only said Awesome Truth and Grayson Waller and Austin Theory only because from a booking perspective, I feel like that was the direction they were heading down. They were probably going to have one face team win and then a heel team win. And even with like Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, like you said, I'll probably do more for them. And I feel like that's probably going to build into that eventual turn that Austin Theory is going to have on Grayson Waller, which is probably the main reasons why they're probably going to lose those tag titles. But I feel like even with them, they're not going to have the titles for that long. Same with Awesome Truth. I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if like the titles are on the line that night. Maybe because DIY and them have like such a close relationship or whatever. Maybe they put them on the line against them. But I definitely feel like Judgment Day might come after Truth and Miz. I don't know. It's just a feeling. But I don't see them having it for that long.
I agree, because with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, also, we have a new team on the rise. We have the RKO team that hasn't been launched yet. But after this Sunday, we know a certain character will be staying champion. But Randy and KO, they have a little fun, little beef going on with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. So I feel like it will be a nice addition for them to be a tag title champion, just for the fun of it, just to add before Randy retires the next couple, and that transition to the Miz and R-Truth. R-Truth got his WrestleMania moment and got his WrestleMania win for a championship as well. So this was a great check off the list, check off the box for R-Truth. Now that's another reason why that this got the W for them, because DIY was my choice as well. If you guys go watch the prediction video, DIY was my choice. Austin Truth was the reality. New Catch Republic was 100% my choice and reality for SmackDown. But Grayson Waller and Austin Theory was my twist. They're heels right now, and I'm hoping that this continues for them in the best way possible. And I believe in Triple H vision. If he believes that these two are meant for right now being the heel for the match. But it was very shocking that it happened 7 minutes within the match itself. I did not expect for 7 minutes into the match for us to have a winner already. That kind of shocked me itself.
Yeah, I was honestly expecting them to wait a little bit longer, but I don't know if they were kind of just pretty much putting out there like, all right, guys, there's going to be two different winners in this scenario, and I just want to let you guys know what's going on. And I think this was another thing with this match too. I mean, with the SmackDown titles, like I said, I had a feeling I'm going to win them anyway. But the Raw titles,
it could have gone to anyone because everyone was fighting back. Like, it was nice little balance of who was going for. Because for a second, I thought it was going to be New Day. And then for a second, I thought it was going to be New Catch Republic. But it was really nice back and forth. Even with Campia doing I forgot what that move was called when he jumped up the ladder. It was a nice jump off the move. I forgot it was with Pete Dunne. It was a nice move going down. So that was a nice move.
Yeah, because I was like caught off guard at first when they're closing the match. Like, oh, okay, where's Truth? Obviously, no Truth. Truth needs to be the one to grab those titles. But there's a part of me where I thought, oh, DIY is back in it. Are they going to actually do it? So there's like a couple times where I was like caught off guard of what direction they'll go down. But I feel like Vash discussed, Truth and Miz probably won't be champions for long. But I feel like Truth only won the match just to make a moment out of it, and it made the crowd go crazy for it, of course. But I feel like it was just a moment. I can't really see him having it for like that long. I'll give him a month at top.
Look, the last thing that we need to discuss about this tag match, we need to give a shout out to JD McDonough to do the spots he did, to do the falls. This man came in just to stop, just to interfere, but the amount of bumps he took for this tag match segment, he's like, yo, Finn, come here. This man, Finn was like out. He was done. He was like just wobbly around. JD was going up the ladder with him. He was like, come on, I'll grab you. Get up. I'm like, no, JD, they're setting you up to go down those 2 tables. And it did happen. I'm like, yo, for that fall, JD to get like out for the count after that ladder and everything, it shocked me in the best way possible. But I want to give a big shout out to JD because not many people would just actually not be part of WrestleMania weekend, but still be included in some way and to be taken down for the spot, the bumps he did. Entertaining.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Other than that, this match was solid for, I think it was 27 minutes. I think it was in total.
I can check. It was 17 minutes 25 seconds.
Really? The tag team match was 10 minutes less than I thought it was. Holy shit. Wow. I thought it was longer. I guess.
Yeah, I did too.
Wow. I honestly was 10 minutes of. That's how much. Like, I wrote 27 minutes. I was 10 minutes off. I was really hoping it was that long. Wow. It really felt that short then. Holy shit. Well, DIY was hoping my choice to be win. I am glad New Day was involved. They did a good match. They got involved. Grayson did a great landing on the ladder. I felt very bad for his body and neck right there because they actually broke the ladder. Damien pulling the ladder, the one that was very broken already. I was like, please, guys, be careful with these ladders because they're breaking easily with all bumps to the ladders. Great execution with the choreography of this match being produced. Overall, wish it was longer. If I had to give it right now, it was a solid 7. It was enjoyable. It was nice. We had some, some nice come-ups with the Smackdown champion. The Awesome Truth is what I expected. But overall, a solid match. Solid 7 out of 10. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 5. So overall, I was enjoyed.
Yeah, I'll say it was a solid match. Did what it needed to do, which was the important thing.
That's true, and that's a fact, because that was awesome. Other than that, kid, would you want to give the rundown of NXT, or let's move on and end the show?
If we want to do that for like a separate thing or something you want to do for like TikTok or whatever, we can do that. But I think we could probably close off the show.
Copy. So, for those that didn't see the full show, definitely check it out. We had the final boss, The Rock, teaming up with the Tribal Chief. They won. Tomorrow is Bloodline Rules versus Cody for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match. So I can't wait for that. We also had the Intercontinental match of Gunther versus Sami. Sami dethroned Gunther for the 606 days. And we had the Jimmy versus Jade, YEET versus no YEET, one of the most underwhelming match of the brother versus brother. Please, when it happens again in the next 15 years, I believe, or I believe it happens every 10 years or every 15.
I'm not sure.
There was marketing some way that is every 10 or 15 years, one way or another. Please,
maybe it was.
In the next match, in the next 10 years, brother versus brother, please be good. Because the next one it could be Carmelo versus Trick in the next 10 years at WrestleMania. Who knows? It could be in the lineup. And then we had the 6-woman tag match. Jade, Naomi, Bianca, all of them for the first time as a tag match versus Damage Control. Solid match overall. Rhea, Andrade versus Santos and Dominik. It was what it was. Definitely go watch it, because if you was want to see a Lucha Libre chaotic match, because it could have been a mixed match of a faction versus faction, because that's what we're getting tomorrow. The Pride versus the Authors of Pain. No, the Final Testament is what they call as a faction. And then the Judgment Day champion losing and having the split titles. Finally, like Job said, I was ecstatic. We finally have two teams. We're about to find out on this week, Monday of Raw and Friday of SmackDown, to see how it comes up. So with that, guys, this is our Night 1 WrestleMania review of Weebs of the Ring, episode 16. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Here is the end of our show. Enjoy Weebs of the Ring. Episode 17 will be out tomorrow for night 2 for fucking Cody Rhodes will finish the story. Other than that, guys, have a good night. We see you tomorrow. Talk to you guys then.
See you guys later. Also, make sure to follow us on our social medias. It's already here. Should be in the description. Drop this box, you know. You got a Vash over here.
And at Watkins, MW, hashtag Weebs of the Ring everywhere else. And like Job said, at AniMa W3 Studio. So catch you guys tomorrow.
Have a good night. Try to get your sleep.